right, here with sophomore Adam Chalfant from Winchester, Indiana. Small population, less than 5,000. What's it like growing up? 4 brothers, I understand. Small town Indiana.
Yeah, I mean it's really great actually. Obviously from a farm. Grew up with 2 older brothers, 1 younger brother. Small town. I think really helped me out a lot as far as wrestling, because when I was younger, I mean, me and my brothers used to always wrestle all the time. And if we're not, wrestling or in school, I mean, we're always out working on the farm. So it's great.
Yeah, and wrestling was not your only sport in high school. You're pretty good at wrestling, 146-19. You had an Indiana State title. Mm-hmm. Also a good football player. Competed in track as well. Talk about just being a 3-sport star.
Really, I mean, I was always just wanting to be busy. I couldn't just sit around or do anything. With football, I mean, in high school, football was really my main sport, my favorite sport, really. And then after football came wrestling, and then after wrestling, track just kind of came along my last 2 years of high school. And just sitting around, really not doing a whole lot. And the track coach asked me if I wanted to come out, and did all right at it. Ran, I think, the 100 and the 4x1. And then also threw with him too. But as high school went on, wrestling, moved into my #1 sport.
And speaking of football, you kind of had a curvy path to get to Bloomington. Originally wanted to play football at West Kentucky. Started wrestling at Harper College. What about Bloomington? What about IU brought you here?
Just the atmosphere. I mean, great campus and great coaches. When I took my visit here, I mean, I wasn't really set on coming to IU. I mean, I had other schools in mind, particularly Purdue. You guys are our travels here. But once I got here, the coaches showed me around campus, and I really liked it and got a chance to sit down one-on-one with basically each coach, and they talked to me a little bit about what they're going to expect and how the program is ran here. And really, when I left here, I had the mindset that this was the school for me. I mean, love the coaches, love the environment, and obviously, great team and great teammates here.
And we'll get to the coaches later, and also the whole Purdue thing. We'll get to that in a second. But first of all, once you got to Bloomington, you got thrown right into it. Iowa, your first match as officially as a Hoosier, and you're wrestling the defending Big Ten champion. And after that, you wrestled 2 more ranked guys. So how about just talking about competing in obviously the best conference in college wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, ever since out of high school, I mean, I've always dreamed of wrestling in the Big Ten. It's any wrestler's dream is to wrestle in the Big Ten. It's obviously the #1 conference in the nation.
And the newest addition to the Big Ten, Nebraska, that's your first big win. You took out a top 10 opponent in Tucker Lane, really put yourself on the map nationally. Because of that big win, the first of 3 NCAA coaches panel rankings came out, and you were a part of that. So I guess just talk about being recognized and coming up with a big win like that.
Well, it was great. Basically, when I stepped out on the mat, I had no idea what to expect. This heavyweight was obviously a smaller heavyweight, a little bit bigger than me, but ranked top 10 in the nation, and I was nervous, a little bit scared going into the match, but really he was a senior, I was a sophomore, and he was favored over me, so I kind of went in there with the mindset that, I just have to wrestle good, and if I lose, then I lose. I mean, nobody's really expecting me to go out here and, beat a top 10 guy, and me being not even ranked. So I went out there, tried some new stuff, and ended up wrestling good and coming out with a win.
And then last week against Illinois, you came out with another win, so 2 in a row in the Big Ten. Like I said, you're in these rankings. They play a big part in who makes the NCAA championships. Is that a goal for you to make the NCAA championships this year?
Yes. I mean, it's a goal for every wrestler to make it. And but my overall goal is just to not make it to the NCAAs, is to be an All-American. I think if I really work hard at it and bust at this last month and a half, then I think I can be an All-American.
Speaking of All-Americans, you got a teammate, probably a guy you spar a lot, Matt Powless. What's it like having him in the room, a guy of that caliber to work with every single day?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Powless comes in there, and he's at the mindset where he's here, and wrestling is what he's going to do, and he's going to work as hard as he can when he's in that wrestling room. And he passes that down to the younger. He's a senior, and everybody else is younger than him, and he's a great leader in there for the whole team.
Another guy before he had his recent neck surgery that you'd be in there scrapping with. How about your coach, Pat Deganey? He's getting quite a reputation for heavyweights. Ricky Acala, Matt Paulus. What is it about Coach Deganey that leads to success for his guys?
Well, he knows a lot, and he's a younger heavyweight, and he really knows the fundamentals of wrestling. And he doesn't try and throw a lot of moves at you and tell you to do this and tell you that this is going to work. He'll throw some moves at you, but out of those moves that he's going to throw at you, he's basically then going to turn around and say, if you like this move, then stick with it. But if you don't like it, then just forget about that move, because it's about you and what you want to work with.
And Adam, I heard through the grapevine that you grew up a Purdue fan. If this is true, what's it going to be like Sunday when the Boilermakers come to town and you're wearing the crimson singlet?
It's definitely going to be a turnaround. I mean, Dad went to Purdue. My oldest brother went to Purdue. My sister-in-law went to Purdue, and obviously I was in the mindset that I was going to go to Purdue. But kind of changed that last minute. But I think it'll be good. I mean, I'm ready to beat the Boilermakers.
Should be a lot of fun. Adam, thanks for taking a few minutes with us. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.